And how do you deal with like difficult customers? Because there's some customers I've seen like and witnesses, they'll order something, then send it back to the kitchen, then you send it back again, then they send it back again. How do you deal with such difficult customers?
That's part of the job,
Yeah,
It's like just getting a negative feedback. You
yeah,
you must take that as a learning curve. So guest preference is key,
yeah.
and not when you're dealing with so many customers, not
Mm,
all of them have the same kind of expectations.
yeah.
So our job is to make sure that whoever we are serving is satisfied and the expectations that they have are met.
I've noticed the culture in Kenya has changed in terms of like eating out. Everybody's eating out, and brunch has become a very, very big thing. Why would you say that is so?
Yes, eating out has become a habit especially in Nairobi, and families now tend to go out. Or you see on Sundays afternoons, no one wants to cook.
Mm-hmm.
After church, they'll just want to go out somewhere.
Yeah,
Um, People also are coming through and kind of demanding organic stuff.
yeah.
So they want to know, where are you getting your vegetables? Are they organic? Are
Mm-hmm.
they GMOs and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, people are more aware
Yeah,
and more informed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Thai Talks with me, Tyrone Kimani. Thai Talks aspires to inspire the current and future generations by telling stories of people who have succeeded in their careers. My next guest has done that and more. He's the executive chef at one of the top hotels in Kenya. He also has gained exposure abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Zack Gugi.
Pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for coming. Let's start by talking about your childhood. I know you were born and bred in Nyahururu, which is known for tourism, also for farming. Tell us a bit about that.
First, let me say thank you so much.
You're
It's a good
welcome.
job you're doing around here, man.
Thank you.
Looks good. And I'm happy to support you and take it forward as much as we can.
Thank you.
Yes, I was born and brought up in Laikipia. It's a county. It's Laikipia County. It's in a place called Nyahururu. What is there? We have tourism around Thompson Falls, good known for agriculture and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's where all started.
That's where it all began. Just tell me
Exactly.
like a bit about your childhood, like maybe some of the experiences you had, like a bit about your family, like maybe how many siblings you have.
In terms of family, we are four of us.
Hmm.
Parents are more of farmers, so we did a lot of farming. That's where the concept of farm to fork came through. Understanding about seasonalities of dishes and stuff like that.
Mm.
So yes, the childhood upbringing has a lot to do with what I'm doing at the moment.
Would you say there's an experience that spurred you or your interest into becoming like into the culinary world?
To be honest, not really, because at that time we didn't have much exposure in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So it had, for me to join the industry, I was looking at a career that was marketable at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and it happened to be in tourism.
Mm.
So I preferred being in the production rather than these other areas in terms of the profession.
Yeah. So after your O levels, you moved to Nakuru, if I'm correct.
Yes, after my O levels, I joined a college for certificate in food production, which was in Nakuru.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, I started now advancing my career to Utari, where I did my diploma,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, internships, and then I joined the mainstream
Where was your
hotels.
first internship?
My first internship was back in Safari Park. Yeah, that was some years back. Then that's where it all started.
And then, do you remember what department you're in?
Luckily, by then we were going through all the departments, including service.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I managed to go through entire hotel production.
And then from Safari Park.
Then from Safari Park, kuhasol haso kidogo.
Yeah.
Then I joined the Hilton Hotels in Nairobi.
Mm-hmm.
Then that is where I actually everything began in
Yeah.
terms of my career development, my training, proper training,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah.
Do you actually remember what your first job was at Hilton?
At Hilton, Yes, I used to work in the cold kitchen. It was very busy. Cold kitchen is where they do salads, sandwiches,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. Very busy hotel. And you know, the career in the kitchen, you have to start from ground one,
Of
yeah,
course.
and then you just build it up to.
And how long were you at Hilton for?
I worked at the Hilton Nairobi for around 3 years.
Hmm.
Then I got an opportunity to move out of the country. I went to the UAE, where I went to with the same hotel, the same
Hmm.
brand. I went to Dubai,
Hmm.
where I worked for about 5 years.
And then you came back.
Then I came back. That's when now I changed hotels. I joined the Fairmont.
Vermont. You did Mara and Norfolk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I started at the Norfolk, worked there for a few months. Then we had an opportunity for growth. I thought,
Yeah.
or I looked at it at that time, at Fairmont Mara Safari Club.
Hmm.
So I moved there. I worked there for what, 3 years. Then I came back now as the executive sous chef
Oh, nice.
at the Norfolk.
If I can remember correctly, one of your accomplishments is representing Fairmont. Is it in Chicago?
Yes, yes. It was a very interesting program. We had, when it comes to food,
Hmm.
we kind of paired it with the lifestyle and how people want to keep changing in terms of their health and lifestyle,
Hmm.
kind of how they want to live. So we had a program that we used to call it lifestyle cuisine,
Hmm.
and I went there. I was representing actually African Middle East.
Wow.
So we trained, came up with concepts and menus that were specifically tailor made for guests who had dietary requirements as they
Yeah.
moved around the hotels.
Oh, that's interesting. And then after Mara.
So yeah, after Mara, I joined the Norfolk,
Hmm.
Fairmont, as the chef in charge. I worked there for about 5 years. Then again, I felt I needed to learn something different.
So you moved away again.
So I decided now what I wanted to work with was the standalone restaurants.
Yeah.
At that time, they were very, what do you call? They were kind of giving us serious competition.
Yeah.
So you could have guests living in the hotel, staying in the hotel, and in the evening they go out for dinners
Hmm.
and all this kind of social life in Nairobi.
Yeah.
So I wanted to understand exactly why.
Yeah.
Why are they giving us this sort of competition? And also, an opportunity came up that I looked at what we call the setups. You know, starting a restaurant or
From
building
scratch. Yeah.
a kitchen from scratch. You know, bringing in the equipment, the design, the flow of work, all those kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought it was an interesting piece of learning.
Yeah. So what did
So
that entail
that's
exactly?
when, sorry,
What did that entail? So.
that entails like one will come up with a concept,
Hmm.
decide, for example, I want to do a kitchen, a restaurant. What sort of cuisine would you want? Let's say African cuisine.
Yeah.
Then we start looking at the needs or the requirements that we need for such a kitchen.
Mm. So you started that as a business, or?
No, I joined a company
Mhm.
that was called the Good Earth Group.
Oh,
The,
that's the one for Nyama Mama.
yes,
Okay.
yes, that's the one. So we had like 4 restaurants that were more of the African fusion cuisine, and we had two which were more of
Mhm.
Asian kind of cuisine.
I think there was one in Delta Tower, if I'm correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
we had one restaurant at Delta Tower, Nyamamama. We had one at Capital Center. We had one at Village Market,
Mhm.
and at Yaya.
So after Good Earth,
So
what
after
came calling?
yeah, after Good Earth, we stayed there for like what, 3 4 years. Then COVID struck.
Yeah.
So we had a very interesting time because we kind of now changed from just being restaurants to kind of supporting people, the
The needy.
needy families and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
we could just prepare food, pack, and then take it to them.
That's nice.
So we did it for like 6 months, and then it was not so sustainable. So some of us had to leave.
Mm. If I could rewind for a bit, when you went to the UAE, what would you say are some of the things you learned that you took there and learned there that you brought back to Kenya?
Actually, what I can say is moving out, like going abroad, it helps you to gain a lot of exposure.
Mm-hmm.
You get to work with the people of different cultures, different cuisines, different ingredients. So it's quite educative and
Mm-hmm.
opens your mind in terms of how you learn how to handle different
Yeah.
cuisines and concepts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, out of the two Hiltons you worked in, there was Abu Dhabi and Dubai.
Yeah.
Which one did you prefer, and why?
Um, I would say both were busy, good exposure,
Mm.
but I think Abu Dhabi was more subtle, more quiet and cool.
Yeah, because Dubai is a very
It's too
fast-moving
hectic.
city.
Yeah.
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 Um. So now COVID struck. You were helping the less fortunate. Then another opportunity arose.
Yes, after some time, I just after leaving the Nyama Mamas, so I joined. I started doing some consultancies here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So same, just people started doing a lot of business because opening up businesses and
Mm.
doing stuff at home. So I could consult, give them recipes, help them do the small menus and stuff. And then an opportunity came to join the Hemingways.
Mm.
Yeah, when I looked at it, it's one of the best luxury hotels in Nairobi. So I
It is for
thought,
sure.
why
Yeah.
not? And I jumped into it, and yeah, that's where I am at the moment.
Speaking of the present, I've noticed the culture in Kenya has changed in terms of like eating out. Everybody's eating out, and brunch has become a very, very big thing. Why would you say that is so?
Yes, eating out has become a habit especially in Nairobi, and families now tend to go out. You see, on Sundays afternoons, no one wants to cook.
Mm-hmm.
After church, they'll just want to go out somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do Sunday brunch, which is a popular afternoon spot,
Yeah.
for families and guys who just want to relax and enjoy good food.
Actually become like a culture.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I was gonna ask, a lot goes behind the scenes. People think being in the kitchen is easy, but it's not because you being the executive chef, you have a huge team behind you. And of course there are different departments. There's the pastry department, there's the salad department. Can you tell us a bit about those different departments behind the scenes?
Um, the kitchen is structured. It's first a chef. Now, before Kitambo, people used to think like you can't make a career out of cooking,
Yeah.
But as years have gone by, you can now understand it's a career just like any other.
Mhm.
So when you get to the kitchen, it's structured in a way that everybody has his own role.
Mhm.
Before the plate gets to the guests,
Mhm.
it has touched different sections and different people who kind of contribute to that.
Mm.
So you have the salads, you have the kitchen where you do the meats, you have where you do the fish, you have your dessert section. So everybody kind of works together to achieve one
Yeah.
goal. Yeah.
And I was gonna ask you, like, as an executive chef, of course, some of the traits you have to possess is being a good communicator. Also, you have to be good at quick thinking, basically, because something may go wrong, and you have to solve the problem quickly.
I agree. For us to be able to achieve or to deliver quality and
Mm.
consistently, there's a lot of communication is required, a lot of support from your team.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot achieve that without a good team.
Yeah.
And having that good team for them to work efficiently,
Mm.
you got to communicate and communicate very clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, some people go to a restaurant like, oh, this menu has been there for so long. How do you go about like making sure your menu keeps changing? Being adaptable. I think you have to be very innovative when it comes to creating a menu.
Yeah. The menu is the face of the hotel.
Yeah.
Let me say that. When you have a good restaurant, you have a good menu, good reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do with menus, when you're creating a menu, you first of all need to understand the concept that you want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
You got to think about your clients, why they come to you, what they prefer,
Mm-hmm.
the seasonality of the produce that you have. Sustainability is key thing nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So all those things come into play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And then
and then you don't want to have a boring menu staying
that's
there for
true.
like a whole year or so. So you keep changing it to give it a fresh look.
And how do you deal with like difficult customers? Because there's some customers I've seen like and witnesses. They'll order something, then send it back to the kitchen, then you send it back again, then they send it back again. How do you deal with such difficult customers?
That's part of the job, you know.
Yeah,
It's like just getting a negative feedback. You
yeah,
you must take that as a learning curve, you know. So guest preference is key,
yeah,
and not when you're dealing with so many customers, not
mm,
all of them have the same kind of expectations.
yeah,
So our job is to make sure that whoever we are serving is satisfied and the expectations that they have are met.
yeah. Because it's like an experience. Yeah,
It's like an experience. You learn through those kind of
yeah.
things, you know.
What would you say has changed a lot from the time you started out your career till today? I know, of course, there's equipment is new and everything, but what else would you say has changed a lot?
Um, Information part of it, you know.
Mm-hmm,
Nowadays, there's a lot of TV shows that showcase
mm-hmm,
culinary or chefs competitions and
mm-hmm,
stuff like that. Um, Also, nowadays we are kind of more aware of sustainability
mm-hmm,
concepts. You know, we want to ensure that whatever we are producing is sustainable.
mm-hmm.
It's something that we can trace, also traceable from source to the table. You know,
Yeah,
um, people also are coming through and kind of demanding organic stuff. You know,
yeah,
so they want to know, where are you getting your vegetables? Are they organic? Are
mm-hmm,
they GMOs and stuff? You know,
mm-hmm,
so yeah, people are more aware
yeah,
and more informed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of you, I know you work so many hours. Like even when I was talking to you earlier, you were saying got to work at 6 yesterday, then got home at 8 p.m. That's not even a long day for you. I know you work longer hours. How do you manage to balance your work life and your family life?
Um, I think being in the profession for long enough, I've come to understand, and the family understands the nature of it.
Yeah,
So it's never busy like Monday to Sunday.
yeah,
You get a day off where I put a lot of time in terms of staying with the family,
mm,
having a good time with them.
mm,
If, for example, I want to go out, I'll make sure I take them so that we spend a lot of time together.
mm.
You know.
Yeah. Speaking of like your downtime, what do you like doing like when you're free, like if you're not working?
Um, I like watching sports. You know,
And in
just just
particular,
just something to take you off from the hectic
yeah,
sort of day.
yeah,
You know, so yeah, any sports. Me, I'm a fan. I'm just watch.
nice. And then, as you're saying, your family is very understanding because now is the Christmas season. You wouldn't be at home; you'll be working. Also, like maybe Valentine's Day, you can't spend time with your wife. How do you compensate for that? Or you just say, "I'll make it up to you another day."
Um, we kind of they are very supportive. Number
Mm,
one, because they understand that, yeah, this is the high season. This
mm,
is when we get busy, and so after this festive part or the hectic part,
mm-hmm.
then yes, you go to compensate.
Yeah,
Yeah, the demands are there. You got a list from the girls telling you this is what we need.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, in parting shot, what advice would you give to any upcoming chef, especially one who wants to reach a level you've reached? You reach actually like a very high level. Being an executive chef is not a joke.
What I can say is, my advice to them, number one, you're doing a very good job to kind of expose and let them have first-hand information about the operation, and what to expect when you join the career. Um, it requires a lot of discipline,
Mm-hmm.
patience, because you got to grow from every kind of rank so that you understand what happens in every section and every part of the production.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to be disciplined, be patient,
Mm-hmm.
understand that it takes a lot of hard work,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, you never stop learning.
Yeah.
You got to keep learning, keep researching, and yeah.
Wow. Zach, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching Tide Talks. Please watch, like, subscribe, and share. I hope to see you very soon. God bless.
Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you, Zach.